And welcome. Hey, and welcome, you guys. Me. Before we get started, please do all the things at the bottom of the screen. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Comment down in that comment section. Share this video where you share your videos because sharing is caring. Turn on your notifications, please, because between me and YouTube, you just never know. Cash App is there for those who'd like to donate to the channel and your girl because life be lifing. And also, as a reminder, please try to stick around to the end of the video and help your girl get that runtime up. We're going to get right into it. It's Reasonable Doubt, Season 2, Episode 6, Can't Be Life. Can't Be Loved. Okay, it's called This Can't Be Life. And as we open the episode, we're basically picking off right where we left off. We had Jax meeting up with Adrian, and she's telling him that she wants to help him, but he says it's too late, and he pulls out that strap on her, baby. Ooh, yikes. So she starts to have flashbacks, and I was worried that our good girl was going to have a panic attack, but she keeps it together. And he's asking for her phone. She lets him know, listen, my PI is outside. And if he doesn't hear from me every 6 minutes, the police will be coming. So you have 4 minutes. I said, I know that's right, Jax. Get them together. So she wants to talk about the gambling ring, but she knows too much already. And that is the problem that he has. So he tells her to stop looking into him and Evan. And baby, the way he was waving that strap, I said, ooh, sir, it's not about that life. It was making me all types of nervous. So Jax is like, fine, boom, done. What else do you need? He needs immunity, baby, because usually you stay out of it. Sorry, I just had to go back to that. He needs immunity. So Jax at this point is ready to do what it is he needs to do because she wants to leave out of there safely. So she asks him for that strap, baby. She's like, you are not safe until I'm safe. So he does. Like I said, baby, I was a little worried given what happened in season 1 with Mr. Damon. So he hands it over to her. Nobody gets hurt. She calls Daniel, tells him it's okay to come in. Now, we don't see what happens after that because Jax hightails it on home, and you can see her struggling, baby. She is hugging that kitchen counter, and she pours herself a couple of shots and then races into the bedroom to give Lewis some lettuce. If you know, you know. But he is not up for the task. So he decides to please her instead. And I said, this is not the best way to handle it. I was a little frustrated with Jax at this point. I understand people handle things differently, but I don't know why she wouldn't tell him what happened. It's huge. That's a big thing. And now you have somebody standing there waving a strap at you after what you've gone through. Come on, Jax. We can't be a strong Black woman all the time. So the next day, they're at the firm. Daniel's running it down and saying that after he spoke to Adrian, JT was worried that the gambling would trace back to him. So he decided to put it in Chanel's name and told her it was a trust for the kids. I said, oh, you sneaky son of a... Now, Adrian is on Lucy's witness list. So Jax wants to try and force Adrian to confess to JT's unaliving in court. So, Corey, he ain't too sure about it, but Jax is like, listen, let me break it down for you. She's giving him all his plans that everything she's going to do with Corey on the cross. She wants to get him to admit that Chanel knew nothing about the money and confirm how bad the abuse was and prove that Chanel didn't exaggerate, that she wasn't, this just bougie housewife that was just out for his money, that on the contrary, she believes that this was her fault and that she actually did the crime and that this is what she deserves. So Daniel stand up and give her a round of applause, baby. At first he was like, going to take it back. And he was like, no, because I'm going to go up for my girl. So Crystal joins in. Corey give her a little, little dry clap and everything. But the way he was looking at her. So on the way out, Corey is telling her that it was a good idea. And she's like, yeah, I had to step my game up. And I was like, oh, Jax, the way he is looking at you, you are in danger, girl. So we see Lucy, and I'm assuming she's on her way to court. She's got her son with her. You got to be on mom duty first. Got to pick this one up, drop this one off. So she's got the son. The son looks like he's about in high school. So she's probably going to drop him off to where he has to be and then head on off to court. But she sees that she has a flat tire. Now we later are going to see the man that I do believe is responsible for this tire. But this makes her late. So the hearing, I was laughing. They were like, at least it's not the black people. And I said, okay. So we start off with the 911 call and the dispatcher on the stand who was calling Chanel a suspicious caller. Suspicious callers focus on their needs. Chanel was kind of like, she I don't want to look at it, but who wants to look at a body on the floor and all that blood, baby? It could not be me. So Corey's like, objection. Sounds like an expert opinion from someone who is not an expert. Baby, that took me out. The way Corey was leaning back in that chair, just so unbothered. I said, yes, 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 give it to him. So he get up there on the cross to do with his big one. And he asked, were there other callers that seemed to be overwhelmed and desperate for help? Of course, the answer is yes. And do they get convicted of first-degree murder? Oh, objection! Baby, listen. So next up, we have the real estate agent on the stand, and Lucy is focused on the average price of the home that they were looking at. Well, that was $3 million. And she asked, well, does she have anybody with her? Yes, Adrian, once, baby, not once. Womp womp. So Corey gets up there and he asks her, what is the value of Chanel's current home? Well, that would be $8.7 million. So she'd be actually downsizing. And that's not the move of someone that's planning to take somebody out for money. I said, okay, touche, you better go for it. And also we find out that she often talked about her kids, which was her primary concern. So it ends up that Lucy's witness ended up being a good character witness for the defense. Bet you they didn't plan on that. Back at home, Naima got her face dolled up, okay? She is done up. She got her shirt tied up in the back. And she is making a video to some awful song, y'all. If you listen to those lyrics. Now, I know some of the stuff that I grew up on wasn't that great either. And even now, the lyrics to be a little questionable. But Spencer comes in big brother mode, like, He calling her out like, mom and dad would not approve. So shut it down. But little sisters, us little sisters, we gonna give you a little pushback. So she threatens to tell about his secret drawer. I said, oh my gosh. Spencer, what is in the secret drawer? Is it prophylactics? Do tell. Because, we're not at the age of magazines anymore. So I'm assuming that's not what will be in there. But inquiring minds need to know. So we see Jax and Corey, and they are going over the case. And she apologizes for pushing back on his instincts. I always knew that you were a great lawyer, and we get a few more compliments, I don't know if I could do it without you. Now, the whole while she is getting up from the chair and she is walking towards him, and then she's getting closer and he's getting closer, and she touches his arm. She kisses him and he scoops her up. She on the table, his shirt's getting unbuttoned, and we listening to Usher in the background. Oh my, baby. Yes, they got your girl for a minute. Yep, they got me because I was like, what is even going on here? Not Jax got weak like that real quick. And then Corey wakes up. Not Jax, but Corey. Corey is having a wet dream, if you will, about Miss Jax, baby. I said, this is not about to be good. Y'all can't do this. And then your first chair and she's second chair. So we see Jax have a meeting with her therapist, and she's telling her, her and Lewis are making progress in group therapy. She and Corey are finding their stride at work, and her nightmares are even subsiding as far as Damon is concerned. But she's waiting for the other shoe to drop. And baby, I could relate. I guess most of us women could relate to something like this. It's hard to look at the positive that's in front of you when history has shown. They're like, oh man, something bad is about to happen. And it's not really a good thing to do. And her therapist is going to kind of give her some good advice and everything that we need to take. She tells her, it's normal, but savor it, enjoy it. She's like, bumps in the road, they're going to come, but savor it and be present. And that is some excellent advice, because the problem that we always have as a people is we're always worried about the past and the future. And those two things can stress us out. And most of the time when we focus on what's in front of us, it's not that bad after all. Now, I mentioned this when she was with Lewis earlier, and I was trying to give her a little grace. But in this scenario, I'm like, you're in your therapist's office. This is your safe space, but she does not mention what happened with Adrian earlier. And I thought that that was kind of strange because I feel like you're on medication, you're having panic attacks. So this is something that I feel like you would need to address, but she doesn't. Meanwhile, we see Lewis run up on Tony at the school because she's been ignoring him. And he's telling her that he has a right to a paternity test because she was like, sir, not today. But he says, he spoke to his doctor and they can do something that won't harm the baby. And actually, the doctor has time later that day. Now, she's giving him a little pushback at first, but ultimately she concedes to what he's asking. So Daniel, right before Jax is due to go into court, tells Jax that the gambling ring is just the smoke from an even bigger fire. That Evan is hiring companions for his gamblers when they are in town, underage ones at that. But like they're supposed to be in homeroom and not, out doing what they're doing. So he's feeling, Corey walks in and Jax is kind of filling him in, and Daniel walks away. When up walks Corey's dad, Dr. Jeremiah Cash. And Corey was not happy to see him at all, but he gonna sit in on trial. He gonna sit in on trial and see what he's doing. And I said, oh boy, Dr. Cash about to be a problem. So Lucy is up first, and she's got a coach on the stand, and he's kind of implying that Chanel knew what buttons to push, and he observed her being physical with JT. And I said, not y'all about to try to paint Chanel out to be an aggressive Black woman. I was like, oh, no, 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 no. So Corey, he gets up on his cross and he says to that coach, didn't you also testify in another trial, Keon, where he went on to be guilty of taking his wife out? I said, exactly. You better let him know. Because Corey was like, oh, no, 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 no. He had to show up and show out because his dad was in court. So afterwards, they're going outside. And Dad wants to take them out to lunch. Now, Corey's kind of trying to brush Dad off because we can tell Dad about to be a lot. But Jax is like, oh, how often do we get to sit down with the great Dr. Jeremiah Cash and pick his brain? But before we get to that lunch, we see a quick scene of Adrian reporting to Evan that, everything went well with Jax. But he's been subpoenaed to testify in court. But Evan is safe. Like, don't worry, boss. I's not going to say nothing. Now, at this lunch, Jax is singing Corey's praises, and Corey's like some people, myself included, well, you got a little problem taking the little, the praise people trying to give you. So he steps away. He gets a call. As soon as he step away, here go Daddy Cash. He asks Jax if she's ever dated an older man. And she's like, yeah, her husband's 3 years older, if that counts. She's like, no. Seasoned with decades of practice. I said, ew, sir, ew. Absolutely not. So she's like, no, but she's all set. Jax is basically like, oh man, I am good on all that. Like, let's not even. He's like, yeah, I had to try. She's like, did you? I said, right, because he did not. So he's like, I learned to ask for forgiveness and not permission. And she's like, isn't that what a rapist would say? I said, oh my. So just then Corey comes back and Jax excuses herself, and I do not blame her. Now, your girl is not a lawyer, but like I said, I know from working in a highly male-dominated field how that can be. So she did the thing that was best and exit stage left. So she heads out, and in the car, Crystal calls and she about to tell her, you know what happened with this ninja? But she finds out that her mom is in the hospital. Now, first I thought the boyfriend, that man did something to her, but nope. So when Jax gets there, she's talking about Beyonce can drink lemon pepper water, but she do intermittent fasting and end up in the hospital. I said, ma'am, you're a little too old to be doing intermittent fasting. Now, I consider intermittent fasting myself before, but your girl be a lot of it. Let's be real. Your girl be a lot of it hungry. Okay. So I would have to go to bed early or something because it would just be far too much. I'll get down in the comments and let me know if y'all ever done intermittent fasting. The most I ever done is a juice fast. And sometimes, baby, you be hangry with that. Water break, y'all. So Mama Lou and her man is about to head out on an R&B cruise. And she just wants to, get the body tight, get the body right. And Jax kind of thinks that, the guy is putting this on her. She's like, no, Kevin didn't ask her to do that, but she just hasn't been happy like this in a long time. Yeah, I get it, mama. And we want to look our best, but sometimes, you just gotta, see what we're working with and just be happy with it. Now, Daniel and Crystal were trying to get some info at the country club, but no luck. Now, when they're leaving, the valet thinks that Crystal is East African because he is from Eritrea. I hope I pronounced that right. And I said, ain't that where Nipsey Hussle's dad is from? Pretty sure I'm spot on with that. But Daniel pulls her to the side and he tells her, listen, I'm going to need you to use your feminine wiles to help us out here. And this is, we find out that Crystal is not only married, but she is married to a woman. And I don't recall either of those things. When we first saw them, Daniel was flirting hard body with Crystal when we met them in season 1. But, child, I digress. Crystal agrees to take one to the team and she gets her best big grin on and goes over there to flirt with this African man. So Corey calls Jax to excuse the souls in the arms, y'all. Your girl be working on it. Corey calls Jax to check and see how her mom's doing. And during their phone call, she tells him that, his dad hit on her. He's like, yo, that's not cool. She's like, no, it's not. But she's, she's all right. So she's like, it don't sound like you're okay. And Corey's kind of saying like, he don't even really try and engage him in conversation because he's not really trying to argue with this man. Like he's argued before the biggest of courts, so he don't even want to bother. But Jax is just trying to tell him that, you need to communication and communication is key. Let him know how you feel. And as she's talking to him about to give him all these sage words that she's learned from her therapy sessions, she sees Lewis and she coming out one side of the hospital, Lewis coming out the other side of the hospital. She's like, oh, let me give you a call back. So she like, boop, 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 boop. Give Lewis a call. She see Lewis send her the voicemail. She said, so she called him back again. Now this time he answers and she's like, hey baby, yeah, what you doing? I'm just, I'm tied up at work. Now he don't never check his surroundings. He don't hear that where she's at, same background as where she's at. He don't look left, he don't look right, he don't look up, he don't look down. He just looking one way. So the two of them, they get off the phone. Jax don't walk across the street and confront him. She don't say nothing to him. Like, nigga, I'm standing here. I see you. Nothing at all. And I mean, I guess sometimes that's the best way to handle things until you find out what's going on. But girl, I don't know if it could have been me. Because why you lying, Lewis? Why you always lying? We get a quick scene of JT's evil mama visiting the DA's office to give him an earful. I think his name is Henry, y'all. When Lucy walks in and she catches the tail end of it and she's like, listen, she's trying to defend herself because she's like, I am just trying to do my job here. Turns out her tires were slashed that morning on the way to court and, she's been getting threats. So it's like, help me, help you. I'm doing the very, very best that I can. When Jax gets home from work, Lewis is like, we need to talk, but not about why he was at the hospital, but it is Naima. She has a secret account. So, baby, it's about to be no social media for Miss Naima. Because Naima's like, Rito, just delete it. Like, no, but listen, these kids and the social media of it all, I'm glad my baby don't got no kind of phone or nothing like that. But I just remember with my oldest two and my first one growing up, you trying to monitor the accounts and they be going to get these second accounts and these finsters and you got to keep an eye on. And baby, it takes a village. And that's all I say because I don't want to give them no more hints. Okay? No more hints. So Jax is like, we didn't raise you to keep secrets. So it's no phone for a week. Whole time she looking at Lewis like, we didn't raise you to keep secrets. I said, Lewis, that is for you. We don't keep secrets in this house, sir. So that night, it's bedtime. He getting in the bed. So she's like, Lewis, you okay? Like, yeah, babe, it's just been a long day. So the next day, we on a run with our good girl Autumn, and they're talking a little bit about the case. And then Jax kind of reveals like, hey, I saw Lewis at the hospital and he rejected my call. And then the second time I called, he answered, but he lied. So Autumn, she's being the ever practical friend. She's like, listen, I'm doing fertility and I had a little scare, but it was nothing. So, she decided not to tell her wife. So she's like, what if Lewis is going through something and he's just not ready to talk about it? And she's like, yeah, he did have a hard time getting up. It could be his work. It could be, this, that, and the third. But either way, Autumn is just basically telling her, like, give him, the benefit of the doubt. We all need that friend. Because Jax was waiting for that shoe to drop. Although at the end of the day, Jax did end up being right. But we all need that friend that's going to help us try to at least be a little level-headed for the moment. So Corey finally has this needed talk with his dad, because he's trying to get clemency for Isabella. That's jail boo. And he's telling him, you stood on our grandfather's shoulder. So, like, why are you dismissing me? Why can't you do the same? I'm not the same person that I was in Chicago. We need to know who he was in Chicago and what Mr. Corey Cash was doing over there. So he brings up his dad hitting on Jax, and dad deflects and starts talking about how his mom was his rock and that Corey needs that, a foundation. I'm like, good deflection, but no, sir. So dad is like, he don't do rules or feelings. He's old school, but, he will try to do better. I mean, honestly, that's all we can ask. Acknowledge it, try to do better, because the best apology is always change behavior. So before Jax goes into court, Daniel is telling her that Crystal got some intel from the valet. Everyone at the country club hates Evan, so they are just waiting to take him down. But like I said, first we got to go into the courtroom where Adrian's going to take the stand and Lucy is up first. She's asking him about his relationship with Chanel. And Adrian's like, yeah, they met through JT, they became friends, and they fell in love. While she was married? Well, yes, of course. But he didn't think that JC knew about their 3-month affair. Now, apparently, Chanel had been writing letters to Adrian, and I was like, baby, not letters. But when Jax crosses, we find out that she was doing that because JT was watching everything. I'm like, I guess. So Adrian says he saw JT abuse her once. I'm like, no, maybe not once, but once is honestly one time too many, and it's quite enough. So Jax asked Adrian if he took JT out, and he was like, say what? The whole court is in a buzz, baby. Now he says no, but he wishes that he did. Boys get a little elevated, right? So Chanel's like, he says Chanel didn't know anything about the money. And then he starts to tell about, gambling and wool goose, whole while Evan's goon is in the back watching, and he head on out to go tell the boss what had happened. So, it's not about to be good for Adrian. He's like, he just wanted a new life with Chanel and the kids and not for her to end up where she did. So after that's all over, Chanel's kind of like whispering to Jax, like, why did you make him say all that? And she's like, because he wanted to. Child, that Adrian was trying to get back in your good graces, if nothing else. So later on, Jax and Daniel, they give Henry, the DA, some valuable info on Evan in exchange for immunity and witness protection for Adrian. Because Lucy's like, well, why would you give all this? Like, no, I'm going to let y'all turn it into the feds. But listen, take the win because it's the last one you will get from me, baby. Because, Jax don't play. And almost immediately after they give him this information, we see on the news that Evan was the ringleader of the schmeck trafficking, and he has been arrested. Hallelujah, praise be to the Lord. Keep your children safe. Jax checks in with Crystal on the way out, stops by Crystal's desk because they were like in a conference room. She's on her way home. She's like, yeah, girl, what's going on? So Crystal gets this box. And at first I thought the box was going to be the drama, but no, because, sometimes things comes in boxes that aren't so good for us. I hope you can't hear my kids being loud. So we see that Crystal gets on her phone. 1 minute, y'all. Quick pause. I'm back, y'all. We see on her phone that TZT got a picture of Tony at the hospital getting a DNA test. So she shows it to Jax, and who do we see with their head turned? In the background, yes, y'all, it is none other than Lewis. Womp to the womp, womp, womp. So, Jax, take your fingers and you maximize that screen, zoom it in a little bit to be sure. But yes, that is his hand that is all wrapped up in his head. So we confirm. Lewis, this is not looking good for you. That's why honesty is always the best policy, and he should have been told her, but he did not. We will get into that at a later date. So Lucy got a new look, y'all. Her and her son, they're heading in from school or whatever their day. It's nighttime. They're getting out the car. The son is making jokes about, because she got a new attitude. She got a new look. We're talking about eyelashes. Now, when they're headed into the house, we see, let me move myself for 1 minute, y'all. Not like that. Oh, Lord. Like this, like that. Okay. Because my head was blacking the man. See the man in the corner. We see this man across the street smoking a cigarette. Again, nobody has any idea of their surrounding. We don't look left. We don't look right. We don't have any security sitting out front because we're on a major case. But that's all we see about that. And that, I'm pretty sure, is the man that slashed her tires. Speaking of smoking cigarettes, Jax is at home later that night having her cigarette. Lewis is headed in, look like from his little nightly run. He give his brother a call and he's like, listen, I can't keep it from her no more. Like, I gotta tell Jax tonight. Baby, as soon as he walks in the door, he's like, hey, there's something I need to tell you. Is it about Tony? It's your baby, isn't it? Ooh, baby, black screen. We hear Jax, I can explain. Damn, 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 James. That is a perfect song that they have playing in that background, baby. I'm not going to hold y'all because your girl is playing catch up and Mama, I made it, because this is my second time recording this video because I left out a whole page of notes, y'all. Yep, a whole 2 scenes I left out. So just remind us to like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment in this comment section, share the video where you share your videos, because your girl is on the road to 1,000. Well, we 500 first, but 1,000 by the end of the year. So sharing is caring. I appreciate you guys. I will see you guys all in the next video. Also, be sure to check out some of my other content, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.